I'm Kara. Welcome to my craft room. And I wanted to make a better initial than what I had up here before. So I picked out some flowers from Cricut and I'm going to teach you how to do this. It's a really good wedding gift or birthday gift for anybody. So let's go make it. Okay, guys, here we go. First, we're going to get our flowers. Now, down in the description, I have your different sizes, and I'll explain that here in just a minute. We're going to start with the peony first. To find specific things, you're going to go hashtag. There's always going to be a capital M at the A, and then A, 3, B, F, E. And search. There's your peony. I love peonies. We'll insert that. Okay. Then go back to our images. Okay, now you can pause and you're going to do the exact same thing with this list of images I have. And once you get done with that, then just restart the video. Okay, let's get all of that on our canvas here. Here's all of our leaves. Let's put those there. Our two smaller, and then all of our this peony is also, this one up here is also a 3D flower, but you don't roll it, so it's going to be just a little bit different, but I'll show you that here in a minute. And how I decide what size I want these type of things when you have all of these different parts. I'll find the biggest one, which here is either to the left or on the right there. And I will just line it up with 1 of the inches or so. See, right now I've got this so dialed in. So let's make it smaller and it'll be easier for me to show you. Let's keep it all over here together, okay? Now, you can see that there's 8 inches in between these squares. And of course, we don't want these 8 inches, right? So let's make them a little smaller. And I'm going to move all of these up here closer to 0, 0, so it's just easier for us to work on these so we can see what we're doing, okay? There we go. Now, each one of these bigger squares here is 4 inches. I'd like to get it to where it's 1 inch, just because it's easier for me to decide. Okay, so what we're going to do is each one of these smaller squares within the bigger square is 1 inch. And I want these flowers to be, you know, around 2 inches or so. And in order to do that, now, of course, you're going to want yours, you might want yours bigger or smaller. Depends on how big your initial is. So for this, I'm going to hit edit down here on the bottom. And for mine, it's going to be 8.25. It's going to be the size. Okay, so mine's going to be, mine are a little bit bigger. I decided about 2.5 inches, as you can see. Then the smaller flowers are, and these are all going to be the same. So you don't have to do width and height. You just have to do one. These are all going to be 1.5 inches. This one, 1.5. Okay, the spiral, and again, I have everything from an 11-inch cut and what size it'll be when it's done, all the way down to a 1-inch cut and what size the flower will be done. I have that in the description, so you can kind of decide how big that you want your flowers. For my spiral, I'm going to want that 4 inches, so I'm just going to plug in 4. My rose, I am going to want it 5 inches. Okay, there we go. So we got the flowers all done. Now let's do these leaves. I actually want to do 2 sets of these. So I'm going to go down here to action, duplicate. There we go. We're going to change some colors on these here in just a minute. Okay. And then I want 2 of each of these too. So I'm going to hit a duplicate on that and a duplicate on that. Okay. And you can see down here on the peony, you see that's got leaves with it too. You can use those if you want. And you can add more or less leaves than what I'm adding. Not a big deal. That's your decision. Now, we're going to change some colors here. These, the flowers themselves, I'm not going to worry about the colors because when you see us make them, you'll see that I have just these smaller ones are solid colors and the bigger ones are all prints. And you can make them whatever color you want. I just you know, assigned, okay, the yellow is going to be this print, and you'll see that when we put them all together. So we're going to change these leaf colors some, just so we know what we're cutting here. So we're going to go down here next to edit, and we're going to hit sync. And that's going to give you all your colors that you're cutting everything out of, okay? So these ferns right here, see, these leafy ones, I want them that darker green, so I'm going to pull it up here, go all the way up here. And then you just hold down on those 3 lines and you go up there and you change those to a darker. And then these, I want them the same as one of these sets. Okay. And then one of these sets right here, I want it to be the same as the other darker color. So if you want more variety in your color of leaves, that's not a big deal. And we're done. Quick and easy. You just hit make it and cut it out, and then let's go put it together. Okay, here we go. Here's our flowers. Here's my tip. Put everything onto paper plate so you don't get them all mixed up together. The best thing to do is let's get these glued up so they can start hardening up, okay? And then we'll do the rolling flowers, okay? This is a peony. I love peonies. I think they're beautiful. Now, let me show you on here. You see this little tab right here? And maybe you can see it easier going the other side. That's what you're going to glue onto this other petal, just like that, okay? And to make it 3D. And then on these, you're going to glue each tab back again, look, on each side, so it makes them kind of rounded, okay? So these are going to, so I'll make them 3D. That's probably an easier way to tell you. Okay, so let's do these first. We're going to put a little dot of glue right here. Oh, nope, we need to do it on this side, sorry. We're going to put a little bit of dot of glue right here. Okay, for some reason, it's decided it's not going to work. So we will switch over to the other. I love this art glitter glue. Okay, you can see it's well used, well loved. I get it on Amazon here. This is the refill, and then I get these little extra tops, so they're really thin because it keeps them from being too thick. You know how when now there you go, look, see, we're just gonna put that little tab right behind it. You see, you'll match up this V. Let me hold it for just a second so it'll harden up. Okay, see how you match up the V so it matches the other V's? Okay, we're going to do this one too. Okay, and then you're just going to pull it just like that until your V's match up right there. There you go, see? That gives you little 3D petals. These are a little more complicated, but they're basically the same thing. You're just doing 2 on each petal. So you're going to do 1 here and 1 here. And you're going to tuck them back up behind. This'll curve a little, see? Just like that. And like that. Let it harden a little bit, and then I'll show you exactly what it looks like, okay? There, see how it's made it 3D? Well, this one doesn't want to stick. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's let it hold it just for a second. There you go. Now, see how you just did these and it's made it kind of curve up a little bit? So you're going to do that on all of these, okay? So I'll demonstrate it another time. There we go. There's 1, there's 2. I'll do it from this side so you can see even better. Now, look, you're just going to turn it. There you go, just like that. Okay. And if you need to do them one at a time, that's fine. You don't have to do them both at the same time. It's a little tricky, so you may want to, you know, take your time. Put a little bit of glue there. And then you're going to swing it over, just like that. Okay, you're just going to swing it over. Just like that. You see how this one's done? Same thing. This one's come undone. I'm going to redo it here in just a second. Let this one set up. Go back over here, redo that. All you're doing is just sliding it up underneath there and gluing it, see? Little glue on there. It's okay. It'll dry clear. Okay, so we're going to do 1 more. Okay. Got too much. See? That's okay. We got middles to, we're going to cover all that up, so it doesn't matter. There's one, there's two. Okay, and this time I'm going to do it right side up so you can see. Okay, so you're just going to swing it so the paper bends. Just like that. This art glitter glue is really good because it will, boom, right ahead, set up really fast, see? And so we're going to let those dry, okay? So we did that, we did that. We're going to do this one real quick, okay? And I will, I'll fast forward through this because you don't need to sit through the whole thing unless you want to watch. So again, we're just going to swing it just like that, and it bends it. We're going to do the same thing here. There we go. Okay, there we go. See? Same thing. So I'm going to put a little bit here, a little bit here. There we go. We'll swing them back behind. You want it to bend forward. There we go. Hold on to that a second until it kind of binds with the paper. This art glitter glue is really, really good, paper to paper. Now, and we can use this glue to glue onto the letter, to the wooden initial. But I will probably be using hot glue just because for this, it doesn't take as long. And you guys don't want to sit here and watch me glue stuff. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now see, we got all, nope, look, that guy popped out. I didn't hold him long enough. Okay, I'm going to give you a little tip and a little trick here too. Okay. With these lower flowers and even with these two, but okay, there we go. We're going to let these dry. Okay, now here is the Cricut spatula. You can use a bone folder, or you can use even this from Dollar Tree, or you can use like the end of a spoon, like this, okay? What I do, or you can use this corner here, and what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of drag it along your petals, just like that. I use this, you know, spongy stuff that you buy for crafts, and that will make your leaves curl up, see? Just like that. It's really easy. You can use the edge of a spoon. Say this was a spoon right here. You can do that. You just want to drag it along like that. See? So you can maybe even use like a butter knife, but you got to make sure you use the other side and you're not too rough with it, okay? Because you don't want to tear your paper or scratch your paper, okay? Look how quick that does that. So we're going to do that with both of the bottom ones here. Okay? And since it's on a soft surface, then it helps it curl without bending, okay? So there's one. And then we'll do this one. We're not going to do this one quite as much because it's going to be the very back one. Okay, and then we are going to layer this up and you'll already be done with one flower. Simple, easy. There we go. But because this has a kind of a spongy surface here, that helps you to, but you know what? You can just take it and go like this too. You know, if you don't have any of that or you don't want to risk it, then just kind of bend it up a little bit with your hands, okay? Now, next thing is put it together. Okay, so this one is going to go, and I usually try to do it so the round part is in the slit part of this. So, you know, opposite, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to do our bigger pieces, and you're going to want to bend these a little bit too. I forgot to do that. Just a little bit. You can bend them more once you get them set in there, but it's easier to bend them if they're already, you know, curled just a little bit. But you can do it with your fingers too. Okay, so we're going to put this in there. There you go. And then we're going to put this one opposite. Okay, we're going to put the round parts where the slitted parts are. Okay, there we go. And then opposite that, just like that. Okay, hold it in there for just a minute. And then comes your little rounded guys here that we just glued. Okay, and those are going to go in the middle also. So there we go. We're going to put those right in there. And then, of course, again, this one, oh, look. See, it's come undone. It'll just take a second. If it does, it's not a big deal. Just glue it again. Hold it for a second. Now, you see how these are already curving all up. And we'll do some more here in just a minute as soon as we get everything glued in, okay? So there we go. We're going to do it exactly opposite of the one that we just did on there. And then here's your two middles, okay? So first we're going to glue these two together. The little middle will go in the big middle, just like that, okay? Once we get them glued in here, then we'll make them stand up how they're supposed to, okay? Now, you're going to glue them inside here. Okay. Try not to do too much glue because we're going to move these out so they look like real flowers, okay? Okay. Now, we're going to bend these up a little bit. There we go. I'm going to actually bend the whole thing. Watch. There we go. Just like that. And this side. There you go. I love peonies. Now, you're just going to take your fingernail and go in here and just grab them and make them stand up. Okay? Just like that. And then voila, you got a real looking flower. Okay? Missed one. There we go. There you go. Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be exact, because no flowers in nature are exact, right? And there you go. Your peony's already done. It's easy, quick, and easy, right? Okay, now we're going to do some curled, some spun ones. Let's do this one first, since it's easier for you. Okay. Now, for this, I use my Cricut tweezers because they come apart when you actually do them. Say like this. So they're going to stay together. And so you kind of need something that's going to grab on to the end of your curly cue here, your spiral here. So, but you can use bobby pin, anything like that that's going to grab on, and then you can still hold on to it. Okay. And you're going to curl into the color that you want. Okay. So because you would think that you'd want this to show on the outside. You don't. You want it to, you're going to curl into it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook my tweezers. Oh, we're done with that. Hook my tweezers. Okay. And then we're going to start to twirl, and that's it. It's really, really, really easy, really simple. Hold on. I didn't put this at the right angle. What I usually do is I match the angle of the end of the paper. So that kind of makes it easier to twist. And then that's all you're going to do. You're just going to roll it up just like this. And all I really do is I try to keep the bottom, which is this part right here, kind of the same, because you're going to end up gluing it in the end. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to spiral it all the way until you get to this round circle at the end. And then that's what you're going to glue it on. Now, when we're done winding it, it is going to be a lot smaller than what you need. So you will loosen it up so it'll actually be bigger. Okay. And we're just going to keep spinning, keep spinning, keep spinning. And I'm watching this down here below more, right here, more than I'm watching anything else, okay? And you're just going to keep spinning it. Just like this. And again, you can use a bobby pin. You can use some pliers that you borrow, some needle nose pliers that you borrow from your husband, or that you've got in your toolkit. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you can hold on to this. And if you're, if you don't have something that automatically clamps like this, then it might be easier to do it move the paper instead of moving the tweezers. See, like I was doing? Okay, now we're getting towards the end. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, just caught. I'm going to go ahead and twirl this all the way till I get to the very end. There we go. Now, this is what we're going to be gluing on. Okay, so you're going to take out your twirl. Okay, there you go. Now we're going to work on it here. I'm not going to put glue on it quite yet. Okay, so see how tight that is? See how absolutely tight that is? But we want it to come almost all the way out to the edges here. So we're just going to let it loosen, okay, until we decide we like it. Okay, so we're going to let it go a little bit. But look, see, it's still good and tight. So you got plenty. So what I usually do is I just kind of unwind it a little bit. Okay, so you see? But you got to make sure you're not getting the outside too unwound and the inside not unwound. So you're going to want to pick, here, I'll show you with the tweezers. You're going to pick some of these insides and unwind them. So just like that. Okay. So we're going to bring this edge all the way out so you see how much room you've still got. Okay. It's hard to do this without my fingers in the way. So I'm going to try and show you without my fingers in the way. Okay. So we're going to make it a little bit looser, not much, just a little bit. There we go. Pull this edge out. There we go. Now you see, look, I'm not even holding it. So we're going to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And we're just going to unwind it a little bit. There we go, just like that. Okay, there you go. There we're getting it. Okay, now, once we kind of do that, where this round circle is, you're going to put glue all the way around. Just like that. There we go. And that is where you're going to glue it. Okay. So we're going to bring it around here. And if you don't want the edges quite that loose, you can make it a little tighter, just like that. Make sure you get some good glue on the bottom, so you make sure that all of your layers get nice and glued in like that. See? You can move it over a little bit. There we go. Okay. If you don't think you got enough glue, you can stick a whole bunch more under there. It doesn't take. You don't have to be perfect because, again, flowers are not perfect. And there you go. There's your first wound flower. Okay. So there we go. We got 2 so far. Okay. Now let's do the rosy looking one, and then we'll do the more daisy-ish sort of looking one next. Okay. You're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to end up here where you're going to glue everything, and you're going to start at the small part, and you're going to wind into your color. Okay. Yes, because you're going to have white on the outside, but once you bend it all back the way it's supposed to be, you won't hardly see any of the white. Okay. So we're going to put this on the end again. Okay. And then we're just going to wind. Okay. So we're going to do, nope, sorry. I did it the wrong way. You want to make sure that you're on the flat side. Okay. So you want this flat side going here, just because these little points will grab onto stuff, and that makes it kind of a pain. So you're just going to wind the paper around. It's not, Now you saw how tight we had it and how we had to loosen it up at the end. One of the reasons is because it's easier to wind it and keep it tight than it is to try to keep it loose. Okay, because then your bottom, this bottom part that you're watching, it's going to get all, out of whack. And you don't want that. You want the bottom to stay pretty close to each other, because remember, those are all the parts that are going to get glued. Okay, so we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep the bottom kind of at the same spot, and you're just going to keep twisting. Super easy. Looks complicated. Once we break it down, a lot easier. Okay, there we go. We're getting towards the end now. Okay, let me finish. I'm going to go around the corner here, around the circle. Okay. we go. Up, 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 up. We're getting a little loose because I'm not paying good attention. Okay, it might be easier for me to bring this around. Okay, there we go. Now we got it all wound. And as you can see, we've got the little circle there. So we're going to take out what's holding it. And this is going to go up here. And again, we're going to kind of let it unwind. Okay, there we go. Now, you see, there we go. Now, see? And we want to bring it out a little farther than that. Okay, so we're just going to unwind it a little bit. Again, hard to see with my big fingers on there. But you don't have to use your tweezers. I'm just doing that so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, we're just going to make it a little looser and a little looser and a little looser. Let me grab hold of it. There we go. And then we're just going to kind of turn it around so it gets a little looser because, again, don't have to be perfect. Flowers aren't perfect. And remember, we're going to be turning the edges. This one isn't going to be like this one, okay, because we're going to be turning the edges out on this one. So let's make sure that we get all of our different layers kind of where we want them. Again, I'm just unwinding instead of winding. There, you see how that goes? Okay. Now, we're going to go over here, and you see the little round circle there? That's what we're going to glue. So we're going to put a bunch of glue on there. Okay, there we go. Now, we're going to bring it around just like that. I'm going to bring this out a little bit more. There we go. Now, the farther away your outside swirls are, the easier it'll be to bend them over, but you don't have to, you know, be perfect or anything because these especially these middle ones are going to stay. They're not going to get bent. Okay. Now, I think I might need a little bit of extra glue way out here. There we go. And I need to unwind, get this one out a little bit. There we go. Whoop. There we go. Now, see? Okay. Now, the best thing to do is let this dry for a little bit before you try to bend it. So I'm going to set it aside for a minute and let it go ahead and dry to our rows that we did just before. Oh, before we do that, let me do these other two small ones. I usually try to do different sizes. You can see where, and I usually will do a odd number. You either want to do 3 or you want to do 5, something like that. I have a couple extra just because I like to put a little, you know, one little one on either end. And since this is a curved thing, and this is going to be pretty much the same as what you did before. You're going to glue this little tab back behind. Okay, just like we did on those first ones. There you go, just like that. A little simpler flowers. I want it to be not quite so elaborate. I want them a little flatter so I can kind of tuck them in when I need them. Okay, there we go. Same with this one. This one is heart-shaped, you can see. This one is more like just, you know, regular flower-shaped. And it's the same thing. We're just going to hide that tab and meet them. There you go, just like that. See? So these are simpler 3D flowers. And then let's go ahead and finish these up while we're waiting on those to dry. What I did was you can do like you can cut a little circle from just from paper, right? But I have these little pearls. They're little flat little pearls, and I thought they would look pretty on there. I have another initial, another C that's going to sit right next to them, and it's got these little pearls on it. Well, I can't get it flipped over. Look at that. Ah. Well, they just don't like me today, do they? Okay. So we're going to stick it right in there. There, see? And then this one. There we go. I don't know if I'll be able to. This one, I'm going to put either 2 or 3 in there. Let's see, because they're the hole in the hole in this one is going to be bigger. Here we go. Push that over. Okay. Oh, where did the other one go? Well, that's silly. I got these at like the dollar bin or whatever that they have at Joann. I don't know if it's called a dollar bin, but they're super inexpensive and, you know, easy to work with. So there's that one. Again, trying to keep my big giant fingers out of the way here. Here we go. And I'm going to put one more in there just to cover up these little hole things. But you can easily do another one of these small and put that in there to make it look like that one. Or you can just do a little round circle from, you know, cut it out Cricut or a hole punch. You can do a, there we go, just like that. There we go. We're going to let those dry. You can do, like stickles, like, you know, glitter glue. You could, you know, put some little dots in there. Okay. And then that way you've got your middles done. Okay. Here we go. Here's our rows that we just made. And we want to bend these back just a little bit. And what I kind of do is kind of stick my fingernail here. And I go real slow. See? Just like that. Okay. And then we're going to pull it back a little farther. Normally I'll let these dry. I'll tell you what, I've got some other samples. I'm going to let this dry for a little bit longer. And I've got a different sample right here. See? Okay, now, and it's all dry and ready to go. So we don't have to worry about it now. And I kind of just stick my finger back behind there to bend them over. Okay, so you're just going to do like that. See? And then here. Okay. There we go. Just do it slow. We're not in a race here. You don't have to be super fast or anything. There, now I've got the first layer. So then I'm going to go to the next layer. There you go. And you kind of push in with your finger in there, and that kind of helps it bend without tearing. If you do tear it, don't worry about it. Nobody's going to look at it close enough for them to notice. There's a little small one back here just because of the way that it did. Okay, now we're going to do this bigger one right here. Get it started. There we go. Just going to just like that. See? Okay, then this one. And each layer, you're gonna get a smaller bend or a shorter bend. I don't know which way you want to call it. Shorter bend. You know, there's gonna be less and less. And then once you start getting in farther in the middle, of course it's gonna be a less and less of a bend too, because of course it's a flower. There we go. And we'll do this last one. Just a little bend on this one. There we go. There we go. A little bend on the edge of this. There we go. Just like that. Boom. You got your rows. Okay. There's that one. And then here is one that's done of the other one that I showed you, but let's see if it'll let us do that. This one has to be really dry, okay? Just because you're really bending on those petals, okay? And then this one, you're just gonna bend out just like this, each one. Okay. There you go, see? Just like that. I'm just going to take each one and kind of bend it out. There you go, look at that. Look, you've made 4 flowers, look at that. Well, here's the one that we made. Okay, I'm still going to let this dry just a little bit longer, just because to do these bends, it's got to be dry. Okay, so look at all those. You're done. Okay, and then of course we cut these out. I will probably end up cutting these and using them individually. Okay. Now, if I was putting this on a white letter, I would probably use brighter green. Okay, but on this letter, because it's black, I don't want it to be, you know, super bright, okay, because I think it would take away from the flowers. So we're probably going to do something like this, okay, and then we'll take a few of these and I'll probably put them in between the flowers. I'll just have to wait until I start putting them on to decide. Now, there is one that comes with a peony, that comes with this one. Okay, see? And it's the same thing. It's a 3D leaf. You're going to glue and then tuck it behind, just like we did on the other ones. Just like this. There you go. Just like that. Okay. Okay, here we go. Now, first, my biggest tip is lay it out first, okay? Decide where you want your flowers exactly. You know, do you want them more farther up like this and like this? Do you only want 3? Do you want 4? What do you want? Okay, see, like that. And then you put your leaves here and then see what it looks like. And I think I'd rather have them just right in the middle, okay? So that's kind of my deal, right? It just kind of depends on what you want and what you think looks best, okay? Then you've got these 3, and we want to make sure that they stay in the curve of the C, right? And we may use this one, we may not. Oh, I like that. I think I like that. And then we'll put one here and one here. How's that sound? Sounds good to me, right? Okay, so first, let's figure out how far in. Well, no, the easiest thing, no. Let's see. How close in do we want these? Now, these on the end, now we're going to smush these up just a little bit. These on the very end, I keep flat. The other ones, I will probably stick in and keep them more a little bit of 3D. But these on the very end, I want them flat and following this kind of the same curve as the C does. There, like that, see? Okay, so now I know where I want my greenery. So let's do that first, okay? And you can see my glue gun has been through lots and lots of battles. So where you want to do it right here. Okay. And we'll talk about the glue hairy thingies here in a little bit too, okay? And how easy it is to get them off. There we go. Okay, once they're dry, it's no problem. You can just pull them off. Okay, so now we kind of know this one is here too. So they're almost together, see? So first put this one down. I keep them together just because it makes it easier for me to keep reference. So there we go, just like that, how we saw them a minute ago. There we go. I want to keep them in that curve of the C. And, you know, if you're doing an M, you can do one that's a little just kind of up in the corner and go down one side or the other. Same with an A. You can do it you can put them however you like the way it looks. Okay. Well, my hot glue decided it didn't want to stick here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick the paper together, because like I said, this is good paper glue. There we go. And redo the hot glue on this one. It's taking too long. This is not the super hot glue. This is what's called a low temp glue, because I don't want to burn my fingers doing this. So now, once you do that, it's really easy for you to just get the glue off where you can see it. See? And just like that. Any of these little glue hairs, you just pull off. Okay. If you got a little extra glue somewhere, Sometimes I'll use an eraser, which will take it right off too. But you know what? I will probably worry more about it once we're all done. Now, I want the peony in the middle. So let's do that first. Okay. I'm going to probably stand up here so I can keep make sure I get my spacing right that I want. Okay, there we go. There we go. Do I want the bigger flower down below and the smaller down? Yes, I like that. So let's put the rose in. Okay. And I'm going to push the edges of this peony up so I can get them in pretty close, just like that. Put this one in. There we go. I'll pull the edges up on this one up. There we go. And you notice I still have the flowers. And then I'm going to add one of the small ones in here just because I like the way that looks. And it gives us an odd number. Always do odd numbers. 3, 5, 7, doesn't matter. That's kind of a design thing. Okay, and they're in there. And you can see, and we don't have much of the greenery showing because that's the way I want it. But if you want it to come all the way out, then you have it come all the way out. It's not a big deal. You choose. Now, I don't like this leaf, and I doubt I'm going to use it. The only reason I have it is because it came with the peony, but I think it's too big. So what I'm going to do is probably cut these apart. Because really, I'm just going to tuck them in. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2. So we're going to like tuck them way in like this. Okay, so you still get some green, but it's just kind of a subtle thing that you can just kind of frame up your flowers with. Okay, then this one, again, I chose these more muted greens instead of bright greens. But I do have these dark ones, and I think I want to use a couple of these. Okay, see, I don't need something up here. And what it does is all we're doing is just kind of framing in those flowers, see? So you're not really going to see any more of the black. Okay. And how about we do one more dark green right there. Here we go. What do you think? I like it. Now, if you want, and you know, you like it with more, I mean, this is yours, so you get to pick. You can do them where they're sticking out like this. Okay. And like here. It doesn't matter. It all depends on what you like. But there you go. We're done. That was quick and easy, wasn't it? And look, we didn't even use this one. So, you're finished. Look at that. You did a great job.